Yes, we can see.
Okay.
Are you going to go through the document or?
I can if Amit is not here, or if you want to go through it, that's fine too.
No, let's go. We can do it together. Let's
Okay.
just start. Yeah. Okay.
Well, the very first agenda item. Let's see. Yeah, it looks like it's the work on the VOLTHA control command to show ONU and OMCI counter statistics. This has been open for, I think, the last 2 meetings, and I believe we were trying to find somebody to take on the work to update the code in the core to interact with it. And there's still a call open if anybody is interested in working on it.
Sorry.
Holger, so I take a quick look at the code, and it seems trivial. I can take this task and implement it.
Okay, good.
Okay, the news is the proto changes and also the changes in the Open ONU adapter are ready. Actually, only if there's something to do in the core and the implementation and void control is outstanding. So all the other stuff, protos and adapters should be ready.
Protos are merged, it seems, right?
Yeah.
But
also the function to be called in the Open ONU adapters ready is. I just submitted the patch some minutes ago.
Okay.
That would be nice.
And second, I guess there is no need to change anything on the core side. So if the VOLTHA side is done, then it should be okay end to end.
Yeah, I think so. Okay.
In the Jira, there's also a link to a Google document where the idea is how it should look. This void control command and this output should look like.
Okay, got it.
Okay, that would be very nice. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see. On to the next one. Let me see. VOLTHA app is removing flows based on the latest status entry. I spoke to Gustavo last week, and I guess for this, we simply need to implement a unit test to lock down his behavior, and we'll need to work to get that into the build system so Jenkins can run the test sorry, I can't talk. I don't have enough coffee in my system yet today. The Jenkins job will run to test this code, and we'll have some unit tests in place to verify the behavior. Gustavo is going to start implementing the test. I was going to begin poking at the Jenkins pipelines to see what and where we need to add it into the system. And then we'll work on incorporating it and go through and document how to add the test in the system in case people run into the same problem again later on. Let's see, the VOLTHA Go controller. I did see.
So Joey, sure. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
we were having some difficulties building the ONOS app, right? So do we have the documentation how to do that?
I remember there was a question about the release. Was there another question beyond that? I did dig this document up with some of the ONOS release details in it. Was this the information you were looking for?
No, to build the ONOS with the apps, I already shared that on VOLTHA dev. It's basically in the README of VOLTHA ONOS repo.
Okay.
I can ping the link here.
So to be able to test it, first we needed to build the ONOS and then later run the tests, right?
Right.
So do you have all the information you need now?
Joey, I
Mhm.
posted the link on chat. Maybe you can also copy that here.
Okay,
If it-
I'll go dig it up after. Let me see. It's just I've got some background noise going on. It's raining pretty hard here, so it's a little bit hard to hear. Okay, good. So let's see. So for the VOLTHA controller, I did see Holger merge a patch in this morning and for the repository. And we had the task going on, Girish and I, to work on redirecting some the Jenkins jobs to be able to test on different hardware at the Berlin site. So the update on that is we did the walkthrough for setting up the VLAN and configuring everything a few days ago. I did run into some problems being able to log into the equipment and gaining sudo access after to be able to configure anything. We just got that straightened out yesterday. So I do have access to do all the sysadmin work now. So we should be able to go in and make some progress on that. Let me see.
Joy,
Yes.
perhaps Girish, you correct me. The critic thing here is because we don't have the Santa Clara site now
Mm-hmm.
because of this XJS OLT problem. I think we cannot run the hardware test on patches also. That's why what I learned from Girish on Slack. Girish, is that correct?
The hardware tests on patches was running on in Tucson site, and that OLT and hardware moved to Berlin. Sorry, not Radisys.
Radisys, okay.
But for some reason, that hardware isn't working as well.
Okay. So, okay. Then we also have to, I mean, move these jobs to some other sites. The running site. It shouldn't be an XJS on OLT, isn't it?
Well, it could run on GPON, but on none of the GPON ONUs, we don't have success running some of the other workflows. I mean, it's always been DT workflow.
Okay.
It's not a problem with the VOLTHA stack per se, but these ONUs express weird behavior in terms of passing through some TAC traffic, and we don't have a support line with the ONU vendors to debug these problems.
Okay. Seems we need some new hardware, working hardware on the site.
I'm afraid we'll run into the same problems. Shifting all the jobs that we have already running on the Vivint site at Santa Clara and moving them to a new OLT, new type of ONUs. I think that'll open a can of worms. I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Me or Joey won't be able to debug much into those issues, and the community won't have access to that hardware. And I'm pretty skeptical about this work. Rather, we should replace the same kind of hardware that we have at Santa Clara site. Go through, go via that path. I don't know where this new work will take us.
Okay. Thank you, Girish. Thank you for updates.
I'm here if you'd like to take over. You can probably fill in a little bit more on these than I can.
Sorry, Joy.
If you want to go ahead and drive the remaining items, that'd be fine.
Okay. Okay, sure. This next item about test pipeline, it was Gustav's or Gustav's item, isn't it? So any update here? Gustav?
Let me see. Hey. Okay, let me see here. I mean, is this item a duplicate? Like, I mean, haven't Joey talked about it before? I think it's duplicate.
Is it the same item? I don't think. Yeah, this is. I think it's not the same item, but it's also. I mean, yeah, it's also. I mean, request and almost it has almost changed in it. So again, request and almost release and testing on the.
Yes, I just remembered. So that item, I already sent the change. It's already merged, and also Girish tested it. So I think it's the only thing missing is to generate maybe a new Volta onus image. But it's I think the work regarding that item is already done.
I think you should update the snapshot bump the version to a snapshot. I think there is a minor change that is required there, and once that is merged, the snapshot, the OERs will be released to Sonatype, and then we should submit a patch to the Volta onus repo. I mean, all those are minor changes. Hardly a day should be done with that.
Okay, then could you, Gustavo, I mean, synchronize with Girish and do this change?
Yeah.
So we can remove this from the. Right.
So basically, the only things that are remaining there, is pumping versions and two different repos. So nothing needs to be done after that.
Okay.
Okay.
I think I can do it.
Sorry. Okay, then I'm going to the next item. The next item, Daniel, I saw that you added some comments to the task in order to remember the task. It was about delete device API called from the northbound systems to Volta, and Daniel found some problems there and was investigating about the correct behavior in the core and the OLT adapter. So please take a look at the task and the comments, and so we can discuss later perhaps on it. Daniel, I couldn't have too much time to go deep to the comments you added, but I went through it and checked the comments you added. So I have a few comments there, a few corrections, but I'll try to go deep and then we can talk again. So the first thing you said is according to the transaction error handling document, it's expected from core to wait the response from the OLT adapter in case it's the delayed device for OLT. It should, core should expect the response from the adapter and then send this response to the northbound. And if it's a failure or timeout, it should send an event to Kafka event bus. So what you're seeing is the core now don't send the error to the northbound, I guess. So to me, this should be, yes, fixed. I saw the codes that you passed to the task. And there's a go routine that send the delay to the OLT adapter and doesn't send the response to the upper layer, only send the event to Kafka bus. I think this should be changed. But on the OLT adapter side, after all the delayed operations done on the KV store to delete all gems, flows, etc. about the device is rebooted finally. And you say that if this reboot fails, we should respond failure to the core. I think this, to me, this is not an error. If we, if adapter fails to delete anything in the KV store, this may be an error to me. So this should be responded to the core as an error. But after all cleanup is done, the rebooting of the OLT is, not an important thing, I guess, to say that this operation is failed, That's actually my opinion on reboot action. Yeah. So we
Okay.
can, if anyone, check the task and saw the comments and have any further comments on it, so you're welcome. But this is my opinion. And on the other hand, by the way, when checking the OLT adapter cleanup procedure, I saw that the delayed operations on KV store themselves, they have error response, but this error response, say they haven't
Sorry, Maher,
taken care, and
sorry to interrupt. I have to answer my door. Just a little bit. I'll come right back. Someone's knocking here. I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem.
Can you open the Jira ticket for that? Maybe it would be easier to follow.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, that's open it. Perhaps I'm better to share the screen and go through it.
Grab control if you need to, Mayor.
Yeah, okay, just a minute.
I'm sorry. I'm back here, Maher.
Yeah, just a minute.
Sorry. I don't know. Did you talk more about the subject while I was gone?
Yes. So I was talking on this, delay. Do you see my screen? There's a code editor, yeah. So this is OLT adapter delete device API. So there's, after a delete device issue to OLT adapter, then OLT adapter makes some cleanups, and later after all the cleanups are done, it reboots the OLT. But this is not a, I think, big issue to return an error to core and say that this delete operation has failed. But if any failure happens, so I think we have first change, we need to change these return errors here to me. But on the other hand, this all cleanup issues, in this cleanup procedure, there are a lot of things cleaned in the KV store. Flows, jams, etc. There are a lot of things going on here, and also in this API, etc. But all these errors from, you see, all these functions return errors, but we don't care about them. Even the error from here, we don't care about them. So here, previously we probably thought that even if we cannot delete flows, we should delete the continue and try to delete other things. But I think if there are some error here that we couldn't clean, we should respond to core with an error so that core can inform the northbound layer that this cleanup isn't successfully done. There is something left in anywhere in the VOLTHA. So
okay.
Actually, to me, this return error should be according to the response of this API. Okay. And here we shouldn't, response error, because this is not a big thing. We cleaned VOLTHA successfully, and we don't need any more to this device. So rebooting isn't important. I guess.
We should still return this error, because if the OLT cannot be rebooted, the caller of so somebody need to know that this OLT should be rebooted manually, right?
Why should what? But what is the point after rebooting of with the rebooting of this device? Why do we reboot it?
Because you cleaned up everything in OLT adapter, but there are still flows and other allocations in the OLT itself. The OLT should be rebooted if we want to continue work with that OLT.
So you're saying that we delete this OLT, but we will continue to use it.
No. We should also clean the state in the OLT, but we should do it manually. So we need to know this OLT reboot is failed or not. If we know this OLT reboot is failed, then we can understand that we should reboot the OLT manually. Otherwise, we can't know if the OLT is rebooted or not.
But the question here I am asking, if you delete a device, this means that you don't need it. You won't use it anymore. Okay, this is deleted on the system. So why do you need it to be rebooted? In case if you say that I'll provision this OLT again after I delete it, so I needed to reboot it, then okay.
But if you don't reboot the OLT, then probably you won't be able to reboot it and provision it again, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say. If you have this kind of problem, you say that I will use this OLT after I delete it, then maybe.
Okay, my comment regarding this error is basically the scenario where you delete it and you reprovision it. And in the case where you do this and the error is just thrown at the end of this routine, all the cleanup in VOLTHA will have been done, but the OLT will have resources still, and it would not be able to be provisioned again. It will throw some errors. That's why I suggested to put it on the top, because if you couldn't reboot it, you couldn't clean up resources in VOLT, you would not continue cleaning up resources in Volta. But if that's the case, if you want to clean up regardless of the reboot, there's the force option. So that's why I thought that the reboot should be first, because if you can't communicate with the VOLT, then there's always the force option.
Oh, but I mean, here we say that, I mean, rebooting this OLT is more important than deleting it. Even the API is delete device API. Rebooting is more important than deleting it. If you cannot reboot OLT, we shouldn't delete OLT. If this OLT is a broken OLT, somehow we cannot reach it, we cannot use it. So how do we delete it? Yeah, I mean, deletes should be used in case there is something wrong with OLT and we will replace it perhaps. We don't need it, you know. So in this case, we use delete in the production mostly, I think. So if in this case we cannot delete the OLT, so I don't know, this some kind of seems not proper to me.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, you can always say that we have a force delete. In this case, let's go to use force delete for it. But yeah, let's discuss it. I don't know. I think delete, if this is delete API, the first, I mean, first focus should be on deleting device on the system, not trying to reboot it.
Yeah, I agree.
Anyway, the first problem here is, I mean, as you said, I think at the core, so this, even if you return this error, the core doesn't inform the upper layers about the error. It should be corrected, I think, in any way. But this return error, it can be, I don't know. I mean, I'm not insisting on removing this error here. But the thing, I mean, I'm asking to everybody about their opinion. I mean, we should, I mean, send some errors according to the, you know, some fields, data on KV store, I guess.
Okay. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, the main problem is that the error is not being returned. It's not reaching the core. But I understand your view about the order of the operations. It makes sense. The reboot is not the main operation there.
Yes, I mean, if you still cannot reboot the OLT and got the error on the, you know, northbound layers, you can take action and go reboot it manually, I guess.
Okay, I agree.
Yeah, Mahir, I think I also agree to your viewpoint there. We should not return from this function if the reboot fails.
So you said you agree with my opinion, or?
Yes, as in if the reboot fails, we should not return an error from this function. We should just go ahead and do the cleanup. Because
So
the reboot is bound to fail, right? If it's a broken OLT, then the reboot is bound to fail.
Yes. If it's a broken OLT, yes.
but anyway, if we can't reboot the OLT, what we are doing is just returning an error. So it's an informative error, right? So it doesn't change anything.
Currently,
At least we would know that this OLT is rebooted or not.
Yes, but we are not executing line 2193, right?
I'm sorry, we are not executing what?
Line number 2193, which is deleting the adapter clients and doing some more cleanup.
Yes, you are correct. Maybe this can be taken before the rebooting.
Yeah, you could do the delete first, but I think
But
the error
no,
should be
but
returned regardless.
I'm not sure if you can do that because I think the delete adapter client is going to delete the client that is used in line 2183.
I see.
Currently, this error does nothing, as you said, Serkan. It's only an information sent
Yeah.
via the Kafka. But I think we also, return this error to OF agent, or who is the caller of the delayed device API. We should respond with some error to that in case of errors occurred in the adapter. So this API has a response with error. So this response, I think, should be taken care by core and reflected to the northbound systems. Currently, we don't reflect it to the northbound systems. We only send a message, event to Kafka. If we reflect it, then this will be go to the northbound system, and northbound system will probably think that this device is not deleted in VOLTHA.
Mahir, could you also open the openOLT.go file? It's where it calls this function, and I think that's where it does not return the error. If you see on line 246, when it calls the delete device, it just logs the error.
Yes, this should also be changed. Yes, I think. In any case, it returns. So error, if an error returned, it returns empty. I think this shouldn't be the case.
Yes.
Actually, this seems the same in a lot of APIs.
Yeah, but if you see the one that's just up, the one before delete device, where you have it highlighted, it just before it returns nil an error at line 233. That's a thing. That's what I think we should do on line 246 as well. If there's an error on the call, you should just return it.
Yeah, I agree with that, but this is the case in all APIs here, so somehow I thought about it, so perhaps we need to deep dive and try to understand why all these empty responses sent from all these APIs. Do you know if anyone knows about these implementations here? Why we have empty responses here in error cases?
Do you have the latest code, by the way, Mahir?
I don't know. Man, I think I have. Let me check.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It doesn't seem logical to me.
Yeah, it seems it's up to date. So let us, please, everybody here on the call and actually the TSD members, please check the task and try to understand the flows. Okay, and the task already have the transaction error handling document on it, I think, or it's on the agenda also. So check this document also, and we can discuss later on Slack or at least the next TSD about this issue. Okay. I think we need to investigate a bit more and deep dive a bit more.
Mahir, I just have one additional point before finishing up.
Mhm.
At the end of my comment, I also pointed out there's in the transaction error handling document,
Mhm.
there's a mention of blocking the commands if the OLT reaches the delete failed state or deleted state, but I did not see any implementation in the code, and I did not hear any mention on the TST calls from the time. I don't
So-
know if anybody knows about this.
From
Each-
this document you're mentioning?
Yeah, the first point that's no, on the delete device,
Okay.
it says that
This one.
there will be a deleted admin state,
Mhm.
and at the end it says that while actions on a device in a deleted state must be prohibited, there's some scenarios where the adapter will update the device. I didn't
Mhm.
see this prohibition of actions. I don't know if it
Oh.
has been implemented or not.
Probably we can check it on it too. I think it's try to set that the device will transit to deleted state. So in deleted state, we probably have some, some change, let some change to be done, but some other change not to be done on deleted devices. I think we have to check the APIs if there's any check on deleted state, prohibit anything or allow anything to be done on deleted state. But probably it's done, I think, because all these, actions coded in VOLTHA. By the way, it says that core will wait until the adapter responds successfully.
Mhm.
And it doesn't say that it should send the response to the, error to the upper layer, actually. But don't say the otherwise also.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Okay, got it. Let's investigate this a bit more. Okay, and talk again later.
Okay, thank you, Mayor.
And if there's no other comment on this issue, I'll go to the next one about the Python. Joy, anything here?
Hi. Yeah, I went through the repositories. There's a link at the bottom for some of the dependencies. It looks like just the VOLTHA docs, the documentation, doc pages and the generation logic are affected. And there's a second repository, VOLTHA system tests. There's a robot command buried in there that we run some tests with. Those are the only two that appear to be affected by the version of Python. I did check on the VOLTHA proto repository. It does not look like we have any dependencies in there. So there's only two repositories that would be affected by it.
Okay, so you don't expect anything from anyone, so
Correct.
okay.
It looks like we can go through and do the upgrade if we need to, fix testing if we need to, and it does not look like there'll be any major fallout from it.
Mhm. Okay, got it. Thank you. And about this bug fix branch on VOLTHA 2.10, I think it's created and done. Anything here?
I just opened a ticket to so we can go through and write a script to automate creating the branches after release for the bug fixes. So that's just a work item. That probably doesn't have to stay on here.
Actually, the correction was done for the master first, but I'm just preparing the correction for the 2.10 and probably we will submit it tomorrow. Mahir and Amit would, Amit, it would be nice to get a review tomorrow for this.
Sure.
If it pops up in your mailbox.
Of course.
Mhm.
Okay then. I think we're done today. If anyone have any other items to bring up or discuss on. Okay, I hear nothing. And thank you all joining today to this meeting. I see you next week.
That's
Okay.
everyone. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Yep, bye.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye bye.